All right, now that we have created our GIF animations, we are ready to export it. So what we'll do is go up to File, and in the new Adobe Photoshop CC 2015, um, it is under Export Save for Web Legacy. If you're working on CS6 or some of the older versions of Photoshop CC, it may be in this area where it will just say save for web or save for web and devices. So I'm going to click here and you'll notice we get this dialog box. And right now I have my preset set at PNG. So I want to go over to this little box and select GIF. You'll notice that some things change over here and we can actually watch our animation. So that looks great. Make sure your looping options are set for forever, otherwise it will play once and you won't be able to see your GIF animation again. There are a lot of presets up here, so there's these different options and you'll notice GIF restricted, this is only for web colors, so it starts changing the appearance of your animation a little bit. With this particular animation, there aren't that many colors being used. If I go to a frame with the sprinkles, we could probably see what it's doing a little bit better. But I'm right now just going to put it on this preset. And you'll notice that these different options will do different things. So I'm going to leave that on diffusion. You can go through these and see which works the best for your particular file. You'll notice that this is giving us some grain and that's not necessarily what we want. So I'm putting that back on selective. And you can change the colors. Right now it's doing 128. You could go through and change this to say 16 colors, and you'll notice that it will start changing the colors of all of your frames. So let's even more drastically do 8 colors. This is only using 8 colors, which makes your file size a lot smaller, but that's not what we want. So you can go through these options and just make sure that these options work best for whatever you are doing with your animation. And GIF does support transparency. So if I wanted to put this ice cream cone on the web without a white background, say if I were putting it on a website with a blue background, then we wouldn't want that big white square box, so I would have transparency checked, or I could uncheck it and give it a white background. Just go down to Save, and you'll notice that it will give you this GIF extension, and I just want to name this Ice Cream GIF, and I'll save it in the right folder here. All right, and I will click Save. Now you'll notice if I go to this folder in my Finder, there it is. Now if I press spacebar, it will start playing, and I'll notice now that when I change the frame rate, that was way too fast. So I'll probably want to go back and readjust the rate at which my frames are displaying. Now this particular example is a little bit different because there aren't that many colors being used and it has this very graphic feel. But say we created a GIF like this that has a much more realistic feeling. It has texture and a bunch of different colors. So this is where it would be very important that you pay attention to these different options. So, if I changed the colors here, you'd start to notice that, yeah, adaptive worked a lot more than selective. Like in this area, you get more of that texture. You could play with the dither, which will just, depending on the image, you can see more or less. This doesn't necessarily do anything, but we always want to pay attention to the file sizes down here, and you'll notice that having no dither really decreases the file size, and it really doesn't do that much to our image. So that's great. With this, we don't care about transparency. However, it is a smaller file size if we have that transparency checked. You can go up to these options here. You could select whichever worked best for you. However, I kind of liked this particular setting, and it's always great to go through all of these and just make sure that what you have is working best for what your image is. So if I say save here and moon GIF sample, all right, say okay. Now there it is. We can see that it actually has this very realistic, good look that's ready to go.